anyone, but what was it about their execution that made it hard for you guys to deal, especially in the first half, in that space of 14 minutes, their 3 goals?
Yeah, that was a very difficult spell of 15 minutes. And I think apart from the quality you have and the finishing they did, it was mostly to do with our errors. First one, cross comes in, happens more often. We don't control the ball. Ball falls for Session's foot. Second, I think was the one where Robbo gave the diagonal, or was it the first? And third one, ball high in the air. Virgil doesn't win the duel and he's on goal and scores the third.
Yeah, those defensive mistakes on the goals. Do you feel it was just isolated moments? Has it been? Have you seen signs in matches before of some lack of attention or some patterns that you've been reproducing defensively?
No, not that I'm aware of. I think in general we are not making many of these errors, let alone 3 in one game. Although today, I think it was 3, 4 or 5 minutes into the game where Ibou Konate lost the ball as well. Second half performance was of course so much better than the first half, but it's hard to win a game of football at this level if you concede 3 goals like this.
Yeah, and the second half, do you feel like it was more a matter of taking those chances because you guys created really good chances, you were in good positions?
Yeah, it was all about getting as much playing time as we could. And with playing time, I mean the ball is into play. Because you could feel that we were creating a lot of chances. We've had a few. But unfortunately, we lacked time in the end to score the third. And that has all to do with us conceding 3 in the first half, because to score 3 goals in an away game is very hard, of course, especially against a good team like Fulham.
It's only the second loss for Liverpool in the Premier League. You haven't lost in the Premier League since September, so it is quite outstanding. But do you feel there is a special level to manage these expectations or the attention around Liverpool now that you're getting closer to the title, closer to the end of the season?
No, I think there's always a lot of attention around Liverpool, so that doesn't start now. That's been there for the whole season. So. Of course, people want to make stories, and which is their job. But for me, it's all about playing Fulham, which is a good team. Many teams find it difficult to play Fulham, and if you then make 3 errors, then it's going to be hard to win a game of football. Now, people can tell me, yeah, these errors are made because it's the end of the season or for whatever reason. But I don't think that has anything to do with it, because we played a good game on Wednesday, and we will show up against West Ham again as well.
Yeah, you say it's not related to the end of the season, of course, the errors, but was it like a lack of attention, lack of concentration in 3 moments? Because it's not very common that we see 3 mistakes from Liverpool defensively.
No, fortunately not. That's also the reason why we are in the position we are in. Because if you do this more often, you're not in the position we are in. So it's one of our strengths that doesn't happen a lot. And if it then does happen, yeah, you can argue maybe it's good to have them all 3 in one game, because if it's been spread over 3 games, you concede 3 goals in 3 different games. Although, then you maybe only need to score 2. Now, second half performance, we don't talk about that a lot, I think was outstanding. So the amount of chances we created, we brought as much attackers as we could. We got our chances. In the end, we lacked time.
Well, Fulham deserve all the praise, don't they, here, Shay? Because whilst Liverpool were uncharacteristically sloppy in the first half, that was down to how Fulham attacked them.
It was a bit of both, wasn't it? Fulham brilliant going forward, and Liverpool defensively very poor. Arne Slot said in his interview there, they had 15 minutes of sort of madness in the first half, and it's not like Liverpool at all. We see them defending so well. They're top of the league for a reason, because they're brilliant at the back. We look at the back 4, of course. Jones playing out of position. We know he's not a right back. He's fitting in obviously for Trent, missing Conor Bradley, who's back on the bench today, came on second half. But again, naturally he's not a defender, is he? But in this instance he does okay, actually defends well. He gives it Konate, and I don't know what Konate in the first half really was all over the place. I don't know what he tried to drag back in his own box. I think they really got away with it. I think even Keller here at this moment takes Pereira down, doesn't get anything on the ball. Could have been a penalty. I'm not sure what VAR made of that, but they get away with one. Very, very lucky in that instance not to concede. Again, you look at Lukic running from midfield, Konate in the space. He should come across and cover that space, but he's too worried about the 2 in the middle. And again, Watch Canate's movement here. Look, what's this? This is just an easy clearance and a swing. And look at Van Dijk's reaction. You go, that's not good enough. You know, mentally they're not tuned in first half today for whatever reason. They thought maybe the game was going to be too easy. But again, then you don't take nothing away from Fulham. They're committing bodies forward, getting bodies into the book. Many bodies are committing forward again. Canate, I think, possibly could do better the header. Van Dijk's just on his heels and it's a brilliant finish, you know, take nothing away from the finish.
But they've got bodies there, haven't
they? Well, they've got bodies, they've committed people forward. You're playing against Liverpool, you see many teams sitting in a low block, not you know, pressing high. It's the opposite from Fulham today, really were on the front foot. Robertson near enough makes 3 mistakes. He tries to pick out Jones, the opposite end of the pitch. He shanks the life out of into Iwobi, and then they're in banging trouble. Now you see, get back, Andy again gets involved with maybe a poor header, and they chap it off. It's the third sort of mistake in this short space of time, and nicks off him on the way through. And that's just maybe unlucky at times for Andy Robertson, but again, probably poor defending. Again, Jones watching the ball. Iwobi's, you know, quick. We know how quick he is down the wing. Now, can he stop the ball in the box? Can he stop crosses? You know, again, not naturally a defender. Another good save from Keller. This was all first half, and again, this is the third goal, and this is obviously the end up the winning goal. Look at this for an assist from Iwobi.
That is an assist.
That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. But again, look at Van Dijk. He needs to be stronger. But I would like to just highlight Muniz here as well, because what's his first touch here? Look. Unbelievable. Second touch again just to kill it down.
He should get the assist and the goal, shouldn't he?
Well, that's what sometimes winds me up about assists is Iwobi's going to get assist on the back of that. But again, it's a mixture of brilliant play from Fulham and again very poor defending from Liverpool.
As far as Liverpool were concerned, with Arne Slot several times this season in different competitions, his substitutions have made a big difference. They did today without obviously them getting the 3 points.
Yeah, and obviously he's not afraid to make changes. These changes came at 55 minutes and at 67 minutes, and 5 minutes after this last set of changes the goal comes. But just see Bradley here, more natural, look, goes inside, gets the ball, Diaz is here, but I just want to highlight Salah. Having Salah here makes Calvin Bassey come flying out. He wants to stop the shot, but he also knows he has to go double up. And it's a lovely little ball from Bradley into Diaz, who takes a quick first touch, and you watch it here, right foot, bang, bang. That's so quick. Keeper can't get set. Defender can't get to him. In this instance, they're coming down the left-hand side of Andy Robertson. Look at Harvey Elliott, not standing there and watching. He's waiting for something to happen. This is so unlucky. The technique is beautiful to watch. He just fires that to the far post. If that goes in that top corner, they're on that roll and they're feeling like they can win again. They even brought Chiesa on. I think he's had about 45 minutes all season, so they thought give him a bit longer. But look, even he gets in the mix and gets a great shot, another good save for Bert Leno. And again here, look, Chiesa tried to run him behind, Diaz with the ball. Big hit right away out to Harvey Elliott, into Salah. This is a lovely little touch here. And on another day, that goes in the far corner. Unfortunately, it falls to Harvey Elliott's right foot. But they were excellent. It just wasn't to be, and Fulham took all the points.
I suppose they're 11 points clear at the top of the table still, so it is kind of nitpicking here. But I suppose the one thing you can maybe throw a question to Arne Slot is, could he have rotated more at times during the season? He would say, we're 11 points clear, so no.
Yeah, exactly. I think he probably could have, but when he has rotated in the FA Cup, they lost and then everyone hammered him for losing. So he's going to sit there and say, I'm going to play the best team I can. We're 11 points clear. Leave me alone.
Actually, which is why I wouldn't ask him the question. You want to highlight Calvin Bassey, who Marco Silva praised afterwards?
Yeah, I mean he's had a brilliant game, and I think he's had a really good season. Actually, if I'm being honest, I think Marco Silva mentions after, if he can be more consistent, Calvin Bassey, then he's a top defender. He's got a brilliant defender on his hands. You know, he's at Glasgow Rangers for a couple of years. He went to Ajax, and I think he's more comfortable on the ball since he's been to Holland and come back. You know, he's 25. He's in his prime, and I like this. This is sometimes. It's gone out of the game, but out and out defending, not letting Jones turn, you know, ratting him all the way. Sometimes centre halves let him go, but he goes all the way in, Mark, and doesn't let him turn again. And watch this, you know, again, he's strong, not letting him turn. You know, Salah could be slipped in there, but Bassey, I don't know what he's doing here actually. He goes in a mad overlap and then he goes in an underlap. I think he's enjoying his football this stage because he is really trying to stretch Liverpool
He's a bit
back
tired
forward.
at this point.
He's a bit tired at the end, but he wins himself a corner, so naturally he's in the box to attack the corner. But this is back to the bread and butter stuff. What's this for a block? You know, when you're a goalkeeper and your centre half in front of you's doing that, Mark, you just love that. It's brilliant defending, you know, throwing your body in the line, whatever it takes to stop. And again, we know how strong Mo Salah is, but not today. Look at Bassey, how strong he is there. And then again, is he comfortable if he's not going options going forwards? Just they cut back again, and now he's like thinking drag backs. He's turned into Johan Cruyff. But again, it's brilliant play from Bassey. He looks like he's enjoying his football again. Back to the day job, brilliant block, and again he backs it up with. What's this for a run? I don't know where he gets the energy from. But after it even goes out, look at
look at the crowd.
Oh, I love it. I mean, he's nearly celebrating with the crowd. I think they appreciate his performance, and Marco knows he's got a top player. And I'm going to say something a bit random. You two probably might disagree with now. I look at the opposite centre half today, Van Dijk. He's a phenomenal player. He's had a similar sort of pathway, gone to Glasgow Celtic. You know, no club would look at him. Southampton took him, and now he's the career he's had. Am I getting ahead of myself to say that Bassey possibly could be in that bracket, or is that too much?
I think it's a little bit of a stretch, but I do understand the comparison. I think what you have to look at as well is the consistency. The problem when you have such a good game like that now, everyone knows what he can do. So if you fall short of those standards, Marco's got to hammer him, and then we're probably going to hammer him. So now for Calvin
Well, that's
Bassey,
what Marco's saying. Isn't it?
Absolutely.
Marco's saying, I want you to be more consistent.
And if he is, then he can go on and have that career, if he is consistent.
You spoke to Marco on Friday, didn't you,
Yeah.
Marco Silva? You know well from your days at Watford. I mean, they are flying, our Fulham, at the moment. What does he want to take them to the next stage? What does he need from his group of players?
Obviously, he wants consistency. He's been talking about that for the last few weeks. He's actually talking about taking me to dinner, so I don't know how happy he's going to be that I told you he was talking. But obviously, the biggest thing for Fulham, 53 points is the most they've ever had in their Premier League history. They're on 48 at the moment. Their consistency, their performance has been really good. They've just missed that key moment to kill teams off. And today, you looked at it, they got the goals, and then they rode their luck a little bit in the second half, but they probably were the deserved winners.